Water.
Earth.
Fire.
Air.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he pulled some plot armor bullshit and not have to kill Ozai.
13 years has passed and my co-host and I discovered one of the most best American shows ever. And I believe that this show can save the world. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, enough of all that bullshit. So, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mike Mack.
And it's your boy, the Carolina Smash, Curtis, and welcome to a special episode of the Black Heroes Podcast.
Yeah, you definitely don't do that.
You
mad
gotta
because I
mix
changed?
it up.
You mad because I changed up the part of what we agreed on?
It's fine though. Compromise. Compromise
Whatever.
is key.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about, as you can tell from the intro, Avatar: The Last Airbender. And they're talking about the show, characters we like, what do we think about it, whether or not it was kind of the peak of American animation. I think that show might have been the peak of American animation for a long time.
The fact that people are still talking about it now, and the fact that it blew up when it was announced to be on Netflix
13 years later, and just the fact of when I went back and watched the show, I was like, damn, for something in 2007, this is really clean.
It was I didn't realize how mature the show actually was, so I went back and watched it again.
That joke was nice, and then the choreography,
right?
The elements used, everything was smooth. It was not really that. I don't really remember.
I think they actually used
raindrops.
real martial arts to go with each bending style, right?
Oh yeah, even still though, sometimes just with how, because American animation is pretty much labeled by Family Guy, things like
The
Archer,
Simpsons.
yeah, where they have fights, but then it's these weird animated looking things, especially nowadays with stuff like how Gumball and all them things, new Cartoon Network shows.
Is there any American cartoon you could think of that does fight choreography? Besides Teen Titans, even then it's not really.
It wasn't the best.
Yeah, and mainly with Robin.
Yeah, but Young Justice. That's good choreography. A lot of the DC things that we got now, we both watched Justice League movies. They got animated, so those are good. There's an old Captain America Marvel movie that was animated that was really good, especially with the choreography. But even that one had some frame drops and stuff. But for the most part,
I think it might be the peak. But before we so
it might be.
Get into the meat of everything, what element would you bend and why?
Why is this the first thing you want to talk about?
Because I really want to talk about it.
That's weird. I'd probably have to say firebending because I get to cheat and have two elements.
This is true, but at the same time, I don't know if I can trust you with fire. You know what I mean? If forest fires is stuff is gonna get burned down.
All right, so I'm inspired by Ozai. That dude was cut. That dude know what he was doing.
So he's goals.
Oh yeah, actually, low key. I was sitting there with he had to fight with Zuko, and then the fight with Aang, and he just threw away all the Phoenix robe stuff. I was like, that was a whole lot of drip you just burned off. That outfit was nice.
I remember when I first saw that, I'm like, dang, this man's cut.
I was like, yo, bro, what type of nonsense? How's everybody else so damn, aside from the Earthbenders, how's everybody else in the Fire Nation all slim and just sitting there playing with fire?
This man has muscles on top of his muscles.
Yeah, this man sitting there built like a goddamn linebacker.
Bro, he had muscles in places I didn't think you can get muscles up.
Well, then again, though, Iroh did kind of shape it up, too.
Bro, that prison workout, fam.
Zuko ain't doing enough. This man got the family lineage messed up.
Well, you say fire. For me, I say air. Just so I can fly. I just want to fly. A flight. I wouldn't need a car.
First of all, to fly, as they proved in Core, you're going to have to, kill your lady and stuff like that. So you're a murderer. That's what you're trying to say.
That can't be proven. I plead the fifth on that. So
you trying to murder people. All I'm trying to do
you're trying to burn everything down to the ground.
Nah, bro. That was Ozai said. I was just trying to be good American citizen. Listen to stuff. Protest. That's how you're supposed to do it.
You're just like Alfred in The Dark Knight. Some people just want to see the world burn. And that's you.
I forgot about that. But yeah, I probably have to deal with fire. And then I can get lightning. And then, I can have I won't have no punk ass Zuko moment. I want you to shoot lightning at me. You didn't know about the rest of my life.
Bro, that was such a... I like that moment,
Yeah,
though.
I did too. I was picking fun at it because I don't know. I guess it's that old childish style writing the Nickelodeon.
Bro,
I felt bad for Zuko.
I did too. Cause like, he was like, bro, all the stuff that y'all did to me, like, just come at me, I'm ready, and nothing happened.
Yeah, I do be feeling bad for Zuko. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, damn, bro, you want it, you want the smoke, and now you can't get it.
Okay, even though like, now I'll wait till we get to the characters and stuff. I got a lot to say on Zuko.
Yeah, but to give some overall impressions on Avatar: The Last Airbender, I think honestly I can say definitely highlighted the childhood because 2007, that's 13 years ago. Damn, kind of got me feeling old. I was 11 at the time, 11, 12. I'm about to turn 25. You just turned 25 yourself. And most definitely for some of the shows we had out there, aside from like animes and stuff, you know, because what else was on Nickelodeon at that point in time? You got
SpongeBob.
I didn't watch that shit. I stopped watching that shit by that point. I stopped watching SpongeBob. I thought I was like 7.
Fairly Odd Parents. Jimmy Neutron.
I definitely did watch Fairly Odd Parents. That shit was funny. Yeah, like what, Danny? But it's like fighting wise.
I thought Danny Phantom ended at that point.
What? No.
It came out in 2004, and it ended in 2007. So it was ending around that time.
Well, Avatar picked it up pretty good, but yeah. So I mean, like, but at that point in time, though, it's like you had like Danny Phantom because they were still showing reruns. So you just had like Danny Phantom, My Life as a Teenage Robot. Those were things with action in it. Invaders, I guess Invaders Him.
Invaders Him wasn't around during that time.
No, but I'm saying like in the 2000s. If you go to Disney, you had things like Kim Possible that had action in it.
Lilo and Stitch. But
yeah, but it was nothing else that was like Avatar: The Last Airbender when it came to like fight, story, maturity. Because literally, you literally start off the story about genocide.
I mean, that's why I honestly think I think he can box a lot of anime characters that we love.
Yeah,
like the current crop.
And that'll be a question later of whether or not we think Avatar's actual anime. It's a stupid debate, but we'll have it just because it's one of the bigger debates in there. But yeah. So back in the day when it was really popping, and you hear like, damn, Aang lost all his family of the Airbenders, and then you really didn't think about the fact that was legit genocide. So it was a mature story. You go through. They touched on a lot of actual social things like misogyny. And
misogyny. I think they did racism, slavery.
Yeah, racism. They had the Fire Nation was pretty much trying to make niggas out of the niggas. So they pretty much was trying to control all the Earth Kingdom and take over their cities, rename their cities. Like literally, they took Omashu. It's like, and Azula.
Well, like New Ozai.
Yeah, like this is gonna be the city of New Ozai, and I was like, I do that for Azula.
You would do anything for Azula.
Hey man, listen. When I was a kid, Azula was that bitch. All right. When I was a kid, Azula was that savage.
Who did I have a crush on? I think I had a crush on Ty Lee.
Oh yeah, Ty Lee was cute and all, but she wasn't like Azula, bro. Azula was terrifying. But damn, did she?
I feel like Maya gets she just get a lot of love. I liked her too. I liked the
she was cool.
Dry personality.
As a kid, I didn't. I appreciate it now, mainly because thanks to anime. But as a kid, I didn't really care about it. I thought she was cool. Because, she had the knives and stuff like that.
Also, she's probably the deadliest out of the three when you think about it.
Nah, Azula's the deadliest out of the
I
three.
I don't know, fam.
Hey, man. I took her own head up. What happened? Exactly.
She got cheated out of that.
Exactly. That. Either way. So, it was a mature story. Character, the cast is really good. Even some of the side characters. On rewatch, I forgot how much I enjoyed Jet when he was introduced, especially when he was trying to steal Aang's chick. I was like, damn, boy, he trying to... I couldn't blame Katara. Jet was a cool dude at the beginning.
See, my only issue with Jet, I wanted to see more of him.
I want to know if he actually died or not.
He did.
He did die?
Spoilers, he did.
Okay, I was about to say, because they was just like, it's cool, go ahead. And then, old buddy, what was his name, Longshot?
Yeah.
He finally spoke. He was like, don't worry, we'll take care of him. I was like...
You didn't know that meant him killing Jet? Yeah.
You never know. I was just I don't really get what would have killed him. He did get hit in the chest with rocks.
Probably internal injuries.
Yeah, probably internal bleeding, internal contusions.
before we continue, just to give like a small summary of the show itself, just for people who may not have seen it, which there might be some people out there that have never seen the show.
I mean, it pretty much topped the charts when it was announced. I mean, everybody was talking about it. If you watched it when you were a kid, you talked about it. And you didn't watch it, you tried to make some punk ass reason why you didn't know. I ain't watch this shit, man. I was trying to watch Love and Hip Hop. Is that a thing right there?
Oh no, that's
What was
like
it?
Flavor of Love. All
There we
those
go. That's the
reality
word. That's
shows.
the word I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When the Kardashians started popping and shit.
Oh man, but just to give us just a small summary, basically the world is at peace, and then the Fire Nation is like, oh, I want to rule everything, and then it just invaded everything. They killed the air nomads, which I don't know why they target them first. I guess because the Aang was
Going to be next in the Avatar cycle.
So and then it's this war that spans 100 years. Aang he didn't want to be the
think
Avatar.
about it though.
What's up?
That was kind of dumb.
What?
Because even if you would have killed all the air nomads after Roku died, then it would have just went to the next element.
Yeah, because Aang was already alive at that point. So if you kill him, it's just going to go straight to water unless you're going to just eradicate everyone.
So now that I think about it, that was kind of a dumb thing. And just like, oh, it actually worked. I was like, yeah, but whatever.
Maybe it's a paranoia, but yeah, Aang initially didn't want to be the Avatar because like the people started treating him differently. So he ran away and then got caught in a storm, fell into the ocean. His Avatar state manifest, and him and his flying bison Appa got frozen for 100 years. And that's a long, long time.
And then from there, two people of the culture came through. They was like, hey, we found the Avatar. Yay. But Aang was only, what was he, 11?
12.
12? Yeah. As a 12-year-old, you know, he was kind of like, look, man, I'm 12. But I think it's actually important because, you know, like, he was 12. And they were like, hey, the Fire Nation's about to attack, so you're going to be trained so that way you can take on like all this stuff as a 12-year-old.
Yeah, like one of my favorite moments, I forgot exactly what happened, but someone was like, you're the Avatar, and then he was like, I'm just some kid, and proceeded to break down a little bit.
No, I mean, because he's a child. So it's,
I mean, you expect this man to just do all of this at 12.
Well, nah, because he wasn't a man. He was a child. So
Oh, this boy.
yeah. But I mean, that's what I think that was probably like one of the things that made it so well done was the fact that it was consistent on how it should go. I mean, Aang was a fun-loving child. He, you know, was peaceful. He also, I kind of like how they had that, but they tried to test his morals on how he was raised, and that kind of helped into some of the immaturity of him, because it's like, hey, you're the Avatar, so you might have to kill people. And he's like, but I was trained not to. I was like, well, you damn sure threw all that training away when you ran away. Like,
This is true.
I would have threw
facts.
that. I would have threw that in his face. He's like, I was trained by the air nomads. I was like, you ran away from the air nomads, so maybe you don't care about it that much.
Oh man,
But yeah, but they stayed pretty consistent with
I really
it.
like the way that they structured the show too, because I think they divide up in the books, and each book focused on a certain element. Like first book was water, so a majority of it was water. 2 was earth, focus on earth, and the last one was fire, so focus on fire. We all know why they didn't do air.
Well, I mean, kind of, but even with water, they did have to deal with the Earth tribe like a lot. So,
Well, I guess like the main focus of book 1 was to get Aang and Katara a water bending master.
that's true. So, but well, the major battles in each book happened in that tribe.
Yeah, but
So,
remember the Earth Kingdom had the
water-
largest landmass, so a lot of the battles took place there.
Well, no, what I'm saying, like at the season finales took place in those respective nations. So, like in the book 1, the big battle is the invasion of the Southern Water Tribe. So, yeah, it's the Southern, right? Northern Water Tribe, because Southern is where Katara and Sokka are from. Which actually I thought that was kind of funny, because like Katara, like the Southern Water Tribe, they had shit, but then
That's
the
what I'm
Northern,
saying. Like, what the?
but the Northern, they was like,
I questioned that as a kid. I'm like, how?
I was like, hey, we now know which is better, the North Pole. So, yeah, so, you know, the big battle of season 1, Northern Water Tribe, it was invasion. Big battle season 2, Ba Sing Se. Big battle season 3, right outside at the, pretty much where the Earth, Fire Nation, and Earth Kingdom meet. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
And just to say one thing about the battle of at the Water Tribe, RP to one of the best girls. I think I'll probably get more into it when we go strictly to characters, but that's still like
I forgot her name again.
like I forgot her name too, but I remember her face though. I remember her face.
But I'm saying I just watched this shit like a couple days ago, and I forgot her name again.
See, that's worse than me.
So you didn't rewatch the show,
I knew most of the show.
but you ain't rewatched the show.
I'm watching it now.
So you ain't rewatched the show.
I'm watching it now.
That's just sad, bro.
I just watched the episode just yesterday.
That's just sad.
How's it sad?
Because this shit been out for like a whole month.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got a whole bunch of stuff to watch.
I think, how long has it been out? Like, yeah, like a month. Whatever. Either way.
Well, stop getting me into these fire shows then.
Hey, can't do that. But just kind of to end off the part about like overall thoughts on it. Definitely a high quality show. If you haven't watched it yet, don't know why you listen to this episode, but also be sure to check it out. It is. I mean, it was made for children.
I mean,
so,
but I say it was made for children / young adults because there's enough in there.
Yeah,
for young
that's what I'm
adults to
saying. Like
appreciate.
it is some pretty childish parts in it where you'll just be like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of this shit. So I mean, it is a certain act of immaturity on it, but at the same time, though, when you actually look at the story and the maturity of it for what it was supposed to be, it's like it's a really good show, good storyline. Not that many ass pulls, couple ass pulls, but like the fact that Aang was learning these elements like a day.
I won't say a day because like it's
Nah, he learned. He did learn Earthbending in a day.
Was it a day?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, he learned how to earthbend. But
if he didn't, Sokka would have died.
I mean, at that point, he learned how to move a rock.
Yeah, I mean, but then in only like a couple months, he was actually moving like mountains.
Okay, well, I mean, like you can learn how to throw a punch in a day, but like you won't be a first class fighter in a day.
But that's kind of what happened. Which I thought was kind of cool. Which is what I thought was kind of cool too. Like, not to talk about the finale or whatever, but in that fight with Ozai, he did actually get overpowered.
Yeah.
So,
like, he learned every element. He did not master.
Yeah. So I like that part, but it was just kind of weird because it was like it's hard to tell whether or not that was because of the fact that he didn't have mastery or because he's a natural bender. Like we saw with water bending, he's a natural at bending. He's a master at air bending. So it's like some of it he has perfect body chi control or ki control, whatever it's supposed to be. He knows how the flow of the universe works. So when it comes to bending, he's just good at it.
I mean, maybe airbenders are just more naturally talented than the other benders.
Yeah, I mean, because focus and stuff like that. But I just always wondered whether or not the issue with that fight he was having was whether or not he was afraid or if it's because of his mastery of the bendings or his level of the bendings, or was it that internal conflict of possibly having to kill Ozai?
I think it was a mixture of all of that.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like you just kind of wonder what was the main factor that almost had him lose, and then like he lucked out. I mean, everybody talk about like plot armor for animes, but I'm like.
But in this case, funny. Like, that plot armor fits. When you're in the Avatar state, you should be beasting.
But here's the thing that was kind of funny, because it was like, because he gave up on the training to learn the Avatar state. So I'm like, were you even able to learn the Avatar state during the training? And how is it that you got the control of the Avatar state just because, you got hit in the back at the last second? Because, I mean, he technically finished that training. Or he did that last piece at Ba Sing Se. So, technically. And was that the last time he went to... He never went into the Avatar State in Book 3.
Until the end, no. Because he couldn't. Because so I think when he got hit, that kind of like...
He messed up his chakrams or whatever.
Yeah.
So...
I always want to say chakra, but they said chakrams.
Yeah, the M kind of throws you off. So, yeah. And that's the only thing that I was kind of... When I was first thinking about it, I was like, damn, that's kind of weird. He did technically finish that training. He did actually abandon Qatar. So I was like, Aang, what are you doing? And he was just like, give me 5 seconds, bitch.
I do have a question though. So if like you learn the Avatar state first, do you really need to learn the elements, or do you still need to learn the elements in the Avatar state?
I'm pretty sure you kind of do. The main thing I was kind of confused on was that the dude was when he was talking about learning it, the guy was like, you have to learn to let go. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that guru dude was cool.
He was.
And then I was like, but a lot of avatars had wives. Like Roku had a wife. One of the waterbending dudes, his wife's face was stolen by what's the thing? What was that thing? The face stealing thing? Code. There we go. I just asked my sister about it yesterday too.
One of the thing that was like kind of like a spider.
Yeah, but it's like where is this stuff about having to let go? And is it? I think it's just the wording that kind of got me off.
All right, I'm gonna go to this Star Wars for like 2 seconds because with the Jedi, you're supposed to do the same thing. You're supposed to let go, but at certain customs, you're allowed to have a wife. Like one of the Jedi Masters actually had a wife and a family, but then at the same time, you're supposed to let go of all attachments. So I think it depending on the custom where you was raised or where you was born at, certain traditions will still stick even if you're.
Yeah, cause I mean, even Airman's got pussy.
Yeah.
Airman's got pussy. I mean, they had a population some type of way, so it ain't like no thing. It was just like erection. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just the thing. That was the only thing that I was kind of confused. I was like, so are you just saying that you got to be prepared to throw her away, or you know, it's like you have to be ready to let her. You got to have to let her go. Like, what do you mean let her go? Like, is it a preparation to let her go, or like if you have to kill her yourself, you can have the. I don't know. Just the whole thing was kind of weird. But
like, okay, let's go to characters really quick. Who is your favorite character out of everyone?
I'd have to say Iroh.
Iroh?
Yeah.
For me, Zuko. So, hey, it fits. Hey, uncle.
Fuck you. That was just creepy. But nah, I definitely have to say Iroh because, I mean, Iroh was dropping gems throughout that whole show.
Well, like, one of my favorite episodes, I think it's the only filler Avatar ever had, The Tales of Ba Sing Se. And like when they follow Iroh around and stuff, when he's getting robbed, I think he actually like handled the robber with words. And at the end, when he showed like his dead son, and he's crying and singing a song, that's one of the best moments in Avatar.
Yeah. My thing with Iroh was always that, it was great love that just that responsibility he took with Zuko, because I mean he had to watch in horror as his own nephew. He watched his brother, and I think that was really undervalued after the fact, because I kind of wish they would have brought that back up. Like, you talking about Iroh, who just lost his son. He's kind of disgraced now because everybody's talking bad about him. Like, oh, you lose one child and now you're gonna run away. So like everybody's poking fun at him.
Didn't they like? Because he technically could have taken Ba Sing Se, but when his son died, he just retreated.
Yeah. So he's getting mocked by everybody, and when he comes home, he has the imagery of a father like harshly attacking his son, and his father died.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's a lot of shit at one moment. And also your sister-in-law is gone.
So, he had a hard life.
Yeah, it's like when you really think about it, but he was still a kind man. He took over raising Zuko. He tried to drop gems, and I mean, anybody else would have lost their patience with Zuko.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, if it wasn't the imagery of him trying to be his new father, like that nigga would have dragged his ass.
But like for me, the reason why I like Todoroki's granddad is because
that was funny.
Or I like Zuko is because like I guess I just seeing his journey, because like he like got disgraced just for speaking out. Like that's like saying we talk back to our dads,
and he made sense.
Kicked out.
Actually, what he said made sense.
Exactly.
So
it wasn't like he was like calling him stupid or anything. He wasn't being disrespectful. He was just saying like, "Yo, like."
And then again, though, here's also what was kind of weird, because it was like, could a prince really disrespect the general enough?
Yeah, shouldn't it be the other way around?
Yeah. Like, when I thought about it, I was like, that's the prince of your nation. Like, even if you feel slighted, like you would still have to shut the fuck up.
But yeah, but come to find out, like. He only used that as an excuse to get rid of Zuko. His Firelord never loved or liked Zuko at all, so he's just found any reason to get rid of him.
Well, I was wondering that myself, because I think what it was that Ozai, I think he probably had expectations of Zuko, and when he wasn't meeting them, but Azula was, it's kind of like that thing of where like you had the expectations, and especially since he was also his son. Actually, so then your daughter outclasses your son faster.
Hold on, because I remember they actually explained it more in the comics tie-in. The reason why he didn't like Zuko is because there was some altercation, and technically he had to kill Zuko. And Zuko's mom made a bargain like, "I'll go away if you spare Zuko's life."
That's not really explaining the part of like his discontention with Zuko. Because I mean, it was there. It was evident. You know, when you see the flashbacks, like the thing that started the altercation, when they had the display in front of Azulon, and you know Azula, she masterfully did this new technique thing she learned, and then Zuko tried it, and he messed up, and then you know Ozai taught the Azulon. But when Zuko stepped up, you know, Ozai, you saw him just kind of get a, like, you know, like, ah, shit, hit this little nigga, go fucking up my whole plan. So I think it was really just, like, I think at some point, like, Ozai was just like, damn, my 3 years younger, yeah, it was 3 years younger.
Yeah,
my 3 years younger daughter is doing better than my goddamn son. Like, fuck, like, what type of seed am I carrying here? Like, so, you know, I think it was just disappointment that kind of turned into, you know, resentment. And I mean, it sucks to see, but when you in positions of power, and Ozai was going for power, that like we see in a whole lot of other shows, it blinds you sometimes.
All right, but do you think like Ozai ever like loved Zuko at any point?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if he can show love to Azula, because it's not like he really tried to manipulate Azula. He genuinely loved and cared for Azula, but I think it was more of he put more merit into results and talents, so that kind of messed up. Where Zuko wasn't exactly the most talented. Because actually, I watched a video review where he was sitting there, and the guy was like, in the comic book, you know, Ozai said that to Zuko. He's like, your sister was born lucky, you were born unlucky because you aren't talented.
I remember that.
So it's like, so it's just that thing of, I do think where he puts his merits at on what's important, Zuko didn't meet those expectations. Yeah. So at that point, it's kind of like he just fell in his graces.
But another reason why I like Zuko, because like when you see his journey, at first he's literally blind to everything except capture the Avatar. That's his one driving force. I think when
I mean, it's restoring the honor by capturing the Avatar.
Yeah, but with book 2, I think he starts to kind of see more of what's around him. I think one of the best episodes is Zuko Alone, where he goes to a village and he tries to like not show any like Fire Nation stuff. But when the village was attacked by thugs, that's when he started using his fire bending, and he saw everybody just instantly turn his back to him. Even like a little kid.
It was kind of dumb for him to say, I'm Prince Zuko. I was like, you could have just said you was a random nigga.
I mean, they still would have hated him just for being a firebender.
You could have lied to just been like, look, I understand I use firebending, but understand I'm look at my face. You know what I'm saying? Firebender did this to me, so I was against all this.
I think that was like the first hint of like him seeing what the war is doing around him and stuff. Because I think he has that tunnel vision the whole entire time.
Well, I mean, Zuko is, there's no way you can contest that. Zuko is the best developed character in the story.
Oh yeah, I mean, I felt betrayed when he turned his back on Katara, like towards the end of book 2.
Well, fuck Katara, I felt betrayed when he turned his back on Iroh. I was like, damn, cause cause I mean that's what I was thinking about the whole time.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Iroh always believed in Zuko, so that hurt. But like Katara was trying to like be friends to someone that she considered an enemy this whole entire time.
He was trying to do the same thing, but he still had to. And then like for me, it hurt more with Iroh because you know you saw him like you know trying to go talk to him too, and you know and Iroh was ignoring him. And
but when
you saw Zuko lash
out.
Yeah, you saw Zuko lash out, and then he was just like, "Man, I was trying to do what I was trying. I was just trying to get my honor back, and you know what? Fuck you, old man." I was like,
another favorite Zuko moment. Another favorite Zuko moment when they was all chilling at the beach. I think that's like one of the things where he was trying to be normal people, where they just can't be normal people, especially Azula. And like he's at the campfire, and he basically just shouted, "I'm angry at myself." And that's the first time he expressed how he was feeling. I think the whole entire time he was holding it in.
I thought you were talking about when they was all hanging out after at the Aang ran away, and they was just talking about like, this is nice and comfortable, and Zuko was just like, I could chase you around and try to capture you and make it like the good.
No, the same episode where like Zuko tried to flirt for the first time.
Yeah, and it failed.
Oh god.
But yeah, I mean definitely Zuko is most definitely probably like, one of the well-developed characters. I'd say under Zuko, probably the next best developed character might be Sokka.
Really? The comic relief person is the best developed character.
Well, Sokka made a lot of his strategies. It's normally worked. He made the plan for the invasion of the Fire Nation. He made the plan for the submarines. He just needed a master technician to build it. So, I mean, that was all him. You know,
Bro, I'm so glad like when they gave him a sword. 'Cause I feel like he needed something for himself since everybody else was a bender.
yeah, I mean, he was good with weapons. Like even before he got the sword thing, he had the where the guy used the compression thing, like the air compression, to shoot the. We had the mind blast thing shooting from his
Combustion
forehead.
Man.
There we go. Yeah, Sokka was able to correctly do the trajectory of where the blast is coming from and hit him perfectly in his forehead behind a rock. You couldn't even see him. So, he was good with weapons. He was pretty good at leading. I mean, I won't say he was the de facto leader of the group, but he did make, a lot of the plans.
Now I think I agree with you because now I'm thinking about it. Like all the clout you just gave Sokka, like he always felt inferior to everyone else.
But he did a whole lot of things. They also had that episode where he's learning sword training and he was gone for that day. And when he came back, they was like, "Oh my God, Sokka, we didn't know what to do all day." I thought it was kind of funny too. Like Sokka had all the bitches, and you never realized it until afterwards. I saw a post where it was like
God,
everybody bending these elements. Sokka bending these.
Well, he only had 2.
I mean, they kind of Ty Lee because Ty Lee thought he was cute.
That doesn't count.
I mean,
You think someone's cute and not want to get with them?
Look, she was trying.
Technically,
Remember that one episode with there, but she kept trying to hit him with the chi block, and he kept dodging it, and then she was like, "It's like we're dancing," and he's just like,
I mean, I don't know, fam. To me, I think Zuko was the one who got the girls. He
got
technically
a
almost got Katara. He almost got with a girl at the Earth Kingdom.
almost got Katara.
People actually were shipping them.
Who?
You didn't know that people ship Zuko and Katara? You didn't know that.
It's like pre-My Hero Academia.
But he almost got with a girl in the Earth Kingdom. He has Mai, so
he lost mine. Then I'm pretty sure he had a wife after that or something like that. I don't know.
just part of me kind of hope that like them two got together again because they never specified who his wife was. So you never know.
She damn sure died early. So, but yeah. So definitely Sokka was a really good developed character. It's actually kind of funny. Like Aang's probably like my 6th or 7th favorite character. Because I'd put Toph and Katara over Aang too.
I put Aang over Katara, but not Toph. I like
you be
Katara.
doing that to your culture, bro. How do you do that to your culture,
What
man?
do you mean?
Oh man,
What you
boy.
mean?
Putting the white man over the black woman. That's
Okay,
how
first of all, like I'm not going to like put someone over someone because they black.
Hey, man, whatever. As Terry Crews said, black supremacy.
But I like Sokka though. Sokka's in my top 5.
Whatever. Either way, but yeah, Sokka most definitely had great development, especially when he worked hard and you felt that moment where his father gave him acknowledgement.
I felt that.
I was like, yeah, I felt that too. Then he had the whole prison escape thing. Yeah, damn, Sokka did a lot of shit.
He did. Like he doesn't give enough credit.
Like, you didn't even give him enough credit. Shouts to me, bro. I be seeing this junk. But yeah, like so definitely that. Overall, I think the cast is pretty solid.
And what about the antagonists of the show?
Well, I mean, you had what's the dude's name for the Dai Li? Bitch nigga. So we'll just call him that. So you
call him the bitch nigga.
you had bitch nigga. He was cool. I liked how they had that political play in there too. So it was that Azula. I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to marry Azula. I ain't care. I would have lived in fear the rest of my life as long as I was getting able to hit. Bro.
But why?
First of all, she was pretty. Second of all, she was powerful. Third of all, she was charismatic. Even a grown ass man turned like, bruh, a 14-year-old took over a whole goddamn secret organization and made the leader of that secret organization just sit there.
But like, do you really want to be with somebody that's just going to control you the whole entire time?
Why not?
No, I want freedom.
So that way, then they can't call toxic masculinity.
Yeah, they just call you a simp.
So the way it looks like simps make money. If you toxic, people hate you. Buddy, whose girl's about to get that OnlyFans account. You about to make money off that shit.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, in that case, yeah.
Shouts to the simps.
Wait, you can't do that because like you wouldn't even do that.
And then in that dimension, Azula's rich. She's a fucking princess.
Money doesn't mean everything.
So it means enough. But most definitely, man, Azula loved her. She was just so good, man.
I'll stick with Ty fam. Like Ty like.
But Tylee's not an antagonist, so that's not who we talking about. She is an
antagonist.
Right now. She don't count for that.
Okay, anybody that's around Azula, the whole squad was nothing but antagonists.
But they were afraid of Azula.
They still did her bidding though.
That's true. I mean, I would have too though.
I mean,
I ain't about to get burned.
It's the same thing. Like, if I'm like the master, you're just my minion. You're still an antagonist towards the good guys.
Whatever, Darth Maul. But
hey, don't hate on Darth Maul.
But most definitely, like Azula, you had. Could you count their waterbending master at first? Because I mean, he's not really an antagonist, but he was against. I mean, Katara did have to fight him.
I think he was more of Katara's personal antagonist.
Gotcha. And then you had General, what's his name, Zhang, who led the
General
invasion.
Zhao?
It was Zhao?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who led the invasion of the North Temple and killed the Koi. That's how Sokka lost his first bitch. I was like, damn, bro, it was because you. I was like, damn, Sokka should have hit you on good time, bro. Like, I'm losing low-key best girl.
That's her name?
Yue?
Yeah, I did not think it was Yue.
Nah, I couldn't remember. Who cares? She's dead anyway. I mean, she's not there anyway.
She's the moon spirit, so yeah,
she gets to watch Sokka smash.
I think it's so awkward, like him and Suki get together and she's just watching it.
That is so funny. She gets to watch it, just like I could have been getting that stroke.
Cause she cop walked them. I mean, she is taking the spirit. Cause she like haunt.
Right. You know? The only thing the moon can do, unless she's gonna drop herself on the planet, the only thing the moon can do is control tides. Like literally, that's it.
Oh, they never make camp near the ocean. Though.
Yeah, but ain't no sex on the beach.
Bro, that's such a funny moment. Now, Zuko was going to Sokka's tent, and he was like laying out with a rose in his mouth.
Then he ate the rose. Yo, Avatar is hilarious.
But shout out to Zuko. He had a freaking spiritual journey with all the main characters, except for Toph for some reason.
Nah, that was funny. That was a hilarious moment where Toph was just like, I'm going with Zuko. And then he was just blushing about it. I was like, all right, come on, man. How is somebody like 6 years younger than you and blind making you blush?
Still a girl,
actually, like, low-key, I'm actually surprised Avatar was not getting, like, hate tweets about that. Because they had some blind jokes for Toph, boy. They played on that blind thing.
God. I forgot exactly what Katara said, but like, the stars are so nice, Toph. Too bad you can't see them.
Yo, I mean, they had the thing where Sokka was trying to put something in front of Toph. I think it was like a wanted poster she had, and then he was like, "How do you explain this?" And she's like, "It sounds like a sheet of paper, but I can't see it."
Oh, no, one time Sokka bumped into Toph. Like, can't you see where you're? She's like, no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Then he was just like, and then Katara popped up like, "How are you gonna explain this?" And then Toph just said it. She was like, "What is wrong with you people?"
Or that one time they put up the one poster, she does it and it's upside down.
Nah, I think it was backwards.
It was backwards.
Yeah, she said it was upside down. So it was oh man, that joke was funny.
God.
All the part with the library, where they was like, "You don't want to go to the library?" She was like, "Yeah, me and books."
Oh man.
I actually, when I was watching that part, I forgot old buddy stayed down there.
He did. Actually, this is the only time I want to mention Korra. I think in Korra they actually go back to there, and actually you can see his dead body.
Yeah, well, it's skeleton.
Still, well, I guess, yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah.
Mr. Technical over
it's
here.
Corpse, whatever. Which is sad, bro, because he's like, I can read this forever.
He did.
No, he didn't.
I mean, in his lifespan.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
I don't know. Do you have food and water down there?
Of course not. That's why he died.
So, like, he read stuff for like a couple days.
And then not to mention, like, Sam was about to cover over that thing anyway. So, yeah, he definitely died. I would have tried. I mean, they should have saved that man.
He didn't want to go.
So, who cares? They was about to make Aang try to kill Ozai. He didn't want to go. Hey, what they do?
But that was different. That's saving the world.
So, I mean, that's just, man, that's just so sad.
Because you really think Aang knew how to energy bend before the fight? No, he did not do that shit.
Asspool, like the only sea lion turtle in existence, I guess. I don't know. I did wonder if it was more of those things. Because you would notice big ass floating island turtle, gigantic monsters.
Maybe.
I mean, that's a gigantic ass monster.
I mean, like, we don't really know how truly big the world actually is.
That's true. I wish there would have been a little bit more world building. No, they have it in the comic book.
World bending?
Hey, man, the Avatar could do that, technically.
Could he? Could he bend the world?
I mean, Korra actually did bend, like, you know, the spirit world and
I guess that is
physical
true.
world, so kind of. But most definitely, like, a lot of the characters were cool. To talk about the books, if we talk about book one, what can you say about the introduction?
For some reason, that's my least favorite book.
I mean, it's the introduction, so it's the weakest part of the story.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't like book 3 besides the ending.
Book 3 was like 8 episodes.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people don't like it.
Yes, but it's funny because it's like Avatar has like this perfect timing, but also it feels like you could have got so much more out of it. But then it's like if they would have fed too much, like what would have happened if they fed too much?
Yeah, but like, I can't use like it was the introduction as a reason why I don't like it, because the introduction is like the first 2 to 3 episodes. After that, it's just straight story.
Well, no, the first season is an introduction. It's an intro season.
I can't say the whole entire. I mean, yeah, but like it's not 40.
How many episodes was the first season?
Like 20 episodes. Yeah, it was an introductory season, but I don't consider the whole thing as one giant.
But then again, though, it's like for me, I think obviously the book one is going to be the weakest one because of the fact that you're just being introduced to stuff. You're being introduced to Zuko. You're being introduced to Aang, Katara, Sokka. So
yeah, but you can say that about book 2. They introduced a lot of stuff in book 2.
But it's not. But by that point, you have the main cast kind of already built.
Okay.
So, you know, I think it's just the weakest because it really doesn't get to a serious battle moment until you get to the invasion of the Water Tribe, because that's where you do have really big emotional moments, like when they make it to the Air Temple and Aang finds everybody's corpses and stuff. Which I was kind of lost on that. So what actually had him? I mean, it is an emotional moment, but it's like, did they not prepare for that? Did nobody ever say like, hey, Aang, not to mention you're gonna probably find corpses of your people?
I mean, but how can you explain that to a kid?
Yeah, so that makes sense. I like how,
because like Sokka wanted to tell him straight up, like, yo, the people are dead, but Katara didn't want to do that.
I mean, oh right, they didn't actually tell him. I forgot about that point. Actually, I thought that was weird, but they had all the statues of all the avatars, past avatars.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, how long has the Avatar been a thing? Because it was a whole lot of statues.
I mean, it all depends, because like we don't know how long some of these avatars live. Yeah. Like, I mean, there was once a president that was only president for a couple of days.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, that was a lot of avatars, and then all the eyes started lighting up.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think for me, I think the reason why I consider one, I don't consider it weak. It's just that the other two, just for me, were just super strong. It's like one is like level 30, while 2 is like level 40, and then 3 is level 50.
Yeah, but I mean, like in book 1, really though, what all did you have in book 1? Because you had,
one of my favorite episodes was the Great Divide, where those 2 tribes were like had a beef for like 100 years.
Yeah,
that was a pretty cool episode.
So that was that. You got Boomy was there, right? Yeah, Boomy was part of book 1. Mm-hmm. So that was a pretty strong point. And then you had Boomy pretty much force Aang to not force him, but the fact that they made Aang understand, like, listen, you are the Avatar. Like, you got some big shit on your shoulders. Like, this is a lot of responsibility. Sorry, but you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what to tell you. You got to do it.
Yeah. So when Boomy was capturing, they almost killed Katara a couple times. Now I think about it, because Boomy captured Katara.
But he really wasn't gonna kill her.
Not kill her, but but Boomy captured Katara. That Earth King dude who tried to force Aang to go into the Avatar state captured Katara. I mean, he put her underground.
No, he wasn't trying to kill her though.
No, but I'm saying, I didn't mean to say kill, capture. Oh. But yeah, so Katara,
she's the Princess Peach of Avatar.
So that's kind of funny. But yeah,
Katara got scary when she didn't know how to bloodbend though.
Yeah, but it was highly successful, and book 1 is when Jet's introduced. Yeah, because he comes back book 2. So I kind of like how they showed that refugee form of it too. Like, they were really accurate about what was going on in the war.
Yeah, they treated it as an actual war.
Yeah, so it's like, you saw refugees, people who were like, my parents were killed by firebenders, and then Katara's just like, oh, me too. And you had, what was because it was the refugees. You had Omashu, which got taken over later in book 2. And it's a specific thing I'm trying to think about, but I can't think of it. Carter, start talking while I think of it.
All right, because I do want to say something. Look, I feel like you kind of brushed it over a bit. Because I mentioned Qatar's bloodbending, you didn't even say nothing on it.
Was that
Like,
book one or book two?
that was book 2. No, actually,
When it was introduced, was it book one or book two?
it was book 2.
It was book two when it was introduced. 'Cause I know she did it in book three. She's about to kill old buddy that killed her mama.
Yeah.
So
So it was introduced in, it was book 2 because they didn't even mention it in book 1 at all.
exactly.
But like that is one of the most broken abilities Avatar ever introduced. Like that made me kind of be scared of waterbenders a little bit. Because if anybody masters this, they're super powerful. They can really just control a small army.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Yeah, I still can't think of what I was trying to for book one. Oh well, fuck it. But
It might come to you before we finish
but
this.
yeah. So and then the way they ended it off, I mean, you gotta admit the way they ended it off with the northern tribe. I mean, they tackled the thing about women don't need to learn how to fight. It's only women. It's only men that should fight.
Yeah, they were
should
teaching them how to heal.
I mean, kind of need to be happy about that because they definitely needed that healing when things happened in book two. But you know,
Is that one of the ass pull things, like just having this the healer just there the whole time, or no?
I mean, no. It's just I think kind of because like Qatar only did like a day of healing, so she knew how to heal kind of, but nobody was actually able to train her. So I kind of like they kind of stayed consistent with that too. Like Katara wasn't that good at bending, but nobody taught her how to bend. She was the only waterbender in the Southern Water Tribe.
I still don't understand how was she the only one.
Was her mother sacrificed herself, and that was cold, boy. When they went and explained that again, my mom was like, "Look, I'm the waterbender. Take me prisoner." And he was
I'm not taking prisoners today.
hell. I was like, come on.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a small part of me that was thinking, "Oh my god, please don't show her actually getting killed."
Yeah,
Luckily, they didn't do it. I mean, it's still a kids show.
That would have hurt. But yeah, most definitely. I kind of liked how they had the thing with Zuko, where where while he was driven, you got to see like a good side of the Fire Nation, because like his troops, even though they listened to his stuff and then they burned down like the Kyoshi warrior thing. There we go. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, the introduction of the Kyoshi warriors, so you got to see more of the imprints of the avatars, because I mean Kyoshi warriors are named after Kyoshi. Yeah, Kyoshi Island, where you saw the place where she sent that dude away, and she was like, oh well, he didn't technically kill her, but I mean she didn't technically kill him. It's like, well, she said, nah, my actions were he died because of my actions.
And I'm not gonna go into any detail about this, but I remember I saw a video where they explained Kyoshi's backstory. Her backstory is really, really screwed up. Like whenever you get a chance, like look it up on YouTube. They have like videos showing her backstory. Like, I don't want to talk about it here because I just want to particularly stay with the main characters and stuff. But I definitely say look into it. And if you listen to this, look into it yourself too, because it's actually pretty interesting. If they were to do a spin-off with her, I'd be cool with it.
Well, I mean, Kyoshi is one of the characters they kept going back to. She was, like I said, I like how they showed that imprint of avatars. Like, you had Roku, which obviously, because he was the one before Aang. So he kind of had the mantle of teaching Aang some stuff about the avatar. It was Kyoshi. Then they had the random things. They showed an avatar from every element, which I thought was cool. I thought that was a nice touch because they had the air nomad lady that talked to Aang, and she pretty much like debunked his whole theory.
Oh my god! Wait a minute! I just thought about something, bro. They named this after Avatar Roku. They named the Roku smart TV thing after Avatar Roku.
Dumbass. But, how did you not pull that? I thought about that the second I heard of Roku TV.
Oh man, I literally my gears was twisting the whole time.
It's based off the Fire Nation, like Roku TV, Fire Stick.
I mean, who knows? Maybe that was one giant coincidence.
Yeah, who knows? But most definitely, that was a cool thing with book one on how they touched on different elements. You had book two. What would you say the highlight of book two was?
Probably the invasion of Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, because you had the drill part. That was cool. That was smart. You had the introduction of Azula. Let's talk about the most important thing about book two.
I think my favorite part during that was when Zuko brought in his blue spirit persona out for one last time, and that was the whole entire scene with him and Iroh, and it was like, what do you want? and stuff. Cause he had
I think I was getting a little bit tired of Zuko shit at that point.
Yeah, he was. He was.
He put the foot
Like,
down.
you need to start asking the big questions. Who are you, and what do you want?
I mean, that was the part where he had the chance to capture Appa.
I mean, could he really have gotten out with Appa?
I think so. Appa was chained up. He was tired.
I mean, after he unchained him, what? Then what?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It was the same thing as during the.
Well, that was the point, because Zuko was trying not to be a bad dude, and that whole thing with Boxing Say was so cool because you saw, well, I mean, that whole thing where they're on the run, and you know, kind of like with the thing where they had the thing where Azula kept capturing them, catching up to him, and then at the end of it, you just saw everybody kind of gang up on Azula, and she's just like, well, look at this. Traitors and enemies all around me, and then she shot Iroh. Boy, that shit
hurt.
I was like, damn, but, this girl is savage.
Going back to Zuko just real quick, a thing I was gonna say was he fulfilled his plan, but he had nowhere to go afterwards. Just like in the invasion of the Water Tribe,
it was the bison. It was the bison.
He had the Avatar, and he had nowhere to go. And if Aang didn't save him, he would have froze to death.
That's true.
He has a plan, but he doesn't have a plan after the plan.
Well, it's like he has the plan, but something always screws it up. You know, because he got Aang, but then he got hit with the snowstorm.
He doesn't think far ahead.
Yeah. His planning just doesn't. It's like what he does, it should be good enough, but then something messes it up. So that was the thing. The cool thing about Zuko, though, you saw him fail so many times that when he became a part of the group and he started succeeding, it was nice to see. I mean, it was kind of cool to see him in the Fire Nation, just being home.
Yeah,
but then it just didn't feel good because of what he did to Iroh. So, you know, that whole part of book 2 was giving him some humanity. I mean, he already had it, but, you know, it kind of approached on that humanity where it's like, Zuko's not actually a bad guy. He's just a hurt kid.
Yeah, like, it goes back to what I said earlier. I think once he finally took, like, the visors off and saw the world around him, finally, you can see more of the human in him.
Well, I mean, there's that, and then they still kept that child part of, you know, because he was only 17?
Not 16.
16? So then it's not 3 years.
Not 3 years. No, so it's 2 years.
Yeah. But yeah, so you had a 16-year-old who was given the opportunity to go back to his father, which, I mean, he loved his father, and, you know, he took it. So I thought that was a really important part, and, you know, he ended up portraying his uncle, and it hurt him, but that was because, you know, he's like, yeah, you my uncle, but we talking about my daddy. Hey, I'm stuck like my daddy. I'm trying to get back in his favor. So I like the fact that they kept so consistent on so many elements they brought in. And I'd have to say book 2, yeah, the invasion of Ba Sing Se, because I was going to say Toph's introduction.
That was pretty smooth. I liked her introduction.
Yeah, the fact that you had a blind girl,
a blind bandit,
you know, who was pretty much the best earthbender in town. She had to hide it, and, you know, because it made sense on why she ran away, because she didn't want to feel confined anymore.
Right, they treated her so fragile to the point where, like,
well, I mean,
you're talking
about a blind 11-year-old. Wouldn't you do that to you? And she's short, she's tiny. It's not like Toph is that big.
But I wouldn't treat, if I had a kid who's blind, I wouldn't treat them as they were just useless.
It's just a kid, though, man. Like, you don't want your child to be hurt if she's already blind.
But you still want, like, them to live a kind of a normal life.
They're rich. First of all, they're not normal.
I mean, you can be rich and normal.
They not.
I mean, they not. Rich. Toph was the most normal out of the whole bunch.
Not really. She was. Yeah, I'd say Sokka was the most normal. But
really,
I would think so. He was like an average teenager trying to be a leader, and also trying to be fun. I mean, so it was that. But
oh geez, you also, by the way, you was off with a number of episodes in book 3. You was way off.
I thought it was that many episodes. What was it, like 11 or 12?
21.
It was 21 episodes in book 3.
I guess so.
It does not feel like that. I mean, book 3 episodes are like a lot of food. Whatever, we'll talk about that next. But yeah, I think the last battle in Ba Sing Se was cool, especially when Katara had like the whole jellyfish tentacle octopus thing.
I like that too.
And she was fighting everybody off, but it just wasn't enough, and she had to go get Aang. Iroh came in last second, saved them.
And I respect the fact they lost. Like, straight
Yeah.
up, they lost.
Like, I mean, they was about to win.
Got the rug pulled out. They got hit with the reversal. Got hit with the reverse
like,
card.
Yeah, so they definitely was Uno out with that one because Aang was definitely taken out with that. But
Still didn't know that he died.
yeah. I mean, I thought he was close to death. Makes sense though. I mean, that's why he
I
couldn't be
thought
the
one of the
state.
things were like he was super close, but was still alive. But now I looked it up, he died.
I mean, well, like that's why Katara had that super holy spirit water. Shouts to UA.
But what's something about the show that you dislike? It could be anything. I already have my reason. If you need to think about it, I'm going to give up my reason.
Yeah, I don't really have any dislikes for it.
One dislike I have with the show is that I really wish they would have done more with Zuko's mom, because they set up everything perfectly, but they never fell through with it. Yes, they did it in the tie-in comics, but I shouldn't have to read the comics to get something that's already been built up in the show itself. So I kind of wish they would have did something with Zuko's mom, because that's a question I always had. And when it ended, I'm like, so we're not going to discuss Zuko's mom at all. And in the comics, that story was a good story. That could be like an epilogue arc even. It was so
it
good.
helped to develop. I just actually watched that. I just watched an analysis on that on YouTube talking about Azula. So I thought it was cool that they in the comics they had that thing where like Azula was still crazy.
That was crazy. But she's the Harley Quinn of Avatar now.
Dislikes. I really don't have any big dislikes. It just felt like only dislike I'll say is it felt super rushed. Like, I like how they did
show
it
as a whole.
Yeah, I like how they did it for the fact they gave a time frame, but it just felt like that time frame was just so like that's how,
2 months.
Like that's how weird it was. Like you're gonna tell me in one season it's an eclipse, and in the next one in like a couple weeks it was a comet.
But what if that just how their world is?
To me, it just seemed weird. Like I was just like, so this eclipse happens once every something type of years, and because eclipses don't happen every year. So I was like, you told me the eclipse is gonna happen, and it just so happens. It was so coincidental. It was kind of bullshit.
Well, it's different. One is an eclipse. The other one's just a comet.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just kind of like I would have liked that they would have been like, hey, this is actually going to be the year of a solar eclipse. I was like, all right, so how many years has it been since the last eclipse? And it was like, who cares? And then after that, a couple weeks later, we're gonna have a comet where the Fire Nation is going to be at its strongest.
Well, I mean, I kind of like that because that kind of builds up the urgency. Like, you need to do this now, or the world's going to be destroyed.
It just felt like it could have been more things to kind of build up some other stuff. Like, I would have kind of liked to see Aang's bending be touched on, because Aang learned some of these things in a day.
So you'd be cool if like all this took place in the same year, kind of space it out. Like, this happened at the beginning of the year.
Apparently in the comic books, they grew up more. I think I was watching Jax Blaze talk about it, and he was like, in the comic book, they actually, like, years passed. Like, months and years passed.
2 years passed?
Yeah.
It wasn't that much older.
Yeah, so, but I mean, it's still years, and stuff would have made sense. Like, instead of Sokka becoming a master swordsman in, like, a day.
This is my thing, though. Like, they're not becoming masters. They're just doing it, and they're good at it, but they're not masters.
Well, I mean,
yet.
Sokka wasn't on the level of, like, I forgot that dude's name. That was
like
a cool
his teacher,
black man.
like he passed the test. He could have taken down Sokka.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, like, but at that point, in a couple hours, Sokka did better than the assistant. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying now?
But there's a difference between being an assistant and being an actual student.
Yeah, but it's the same thing of, like, in 1 hour, you can't beat the guy. In the next hour, you're disarming him.
I mean, that can happen.
In the same day.
I mean,
In the same day,
that could happen.
And you never, for a weapon you never used?
But it is possible, though.
I don't know.
And you said, I mean, how much clout you just gave Sokka? He's smart enough to figure things
Oh,
out.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, I appreciated that because it really played on Sokka's strengths, where it's like, when you think it's like, oh, he's just comic relief, but he's actually a really good character.
He's actually proficient at weapons, so I mean, he already had that experience.
It's just for that, just to kind of feel off to me. So I mean, just for kind of what like I see, because I watch more anime, so it's a whole lot of training arcs, and those training arcs normally take days, weeks. They get beat the fuck up, and boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I'm slowly catching up on the whole watching more anime? I mean, I said I'm gonna watch a bunch of shows that you haven't watched or you tried to watch.
If you say so. But
What do you mean I say so? That's facts.
I don't know shit. I don't know what shows you're talking about, but that's ain't what we're talking about.
Haikyuu.
I watched Beastars. I just didn't finish it. But yeah. So just with that, I guess that's probably the only dislike I got. Kind of the rushness or the rush feeling.
The pacing of the show.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So like the pacing of it, probably the only thing I can say I dislike. But as far as like characters, how they were developed, how they were written, who stayed, who didn't stay, who died, who transcended to being a god, pretty much. No, I was cool with it.
I'll say another thing I disliked. I kind of dislike how they handled Jet. I feel like Jet could have did a lot more.
I mean, Jet was cool, but I mean, really though, what else could you have wanted for Jet?
I mean, but just to kill him off just like that, I kind of wish he kind of would have done more. Maybe been on one more
brainwashed.
Yeah, but he was brainwashed. He stopped being brainwashed. Deaf.
Oh, buddy was cold.
I just kind of wish he
Bitch
had
nigga
more
was
to
a
do.
mean dude. I still don't remember his name. Bitch nigga was a mean dude. Yeah, bro, even if you look it up, bitch nigga's too funny now. I'm not gonna say it.
So that's his name forever.
Yeah. So I think they could have did more with the Earth King, because it was kind of like the Earth King went on his journey and then he never came back.
Wait, what?
The Earth King?
Oh, he did go on a journey, didn't he?
And never came back with his bear, which is funny because it was just like, it was like his pet.
Maybe he didn't want to
koala bear.
It was just, no, it was his
platypus
bear.
bear. But it's like, no, just bear. It's like, this is weird. But they did good on the lore. They had good lore. They always checked on there's things like that where they made sure to include that. So yeah, I don't have that many dislikes for Avatar.
His name is Long.
Long Fang, there we
Long
go.
Fang, there we go.
So bitch nigga, you know what I'm saying? I like that part where it's political. I have to say probably one of my favorite parts, and probably my favorite part of part 3 was seeing Azula lose her mind.
Alright, before I say my favorite part of part 3, just imagine if your name was Long.
Long Fang at that, like that is a porn star name.
I don't know why this is so funny to me, but okay, alright. My favorite thing in book 3 was a little propaganda show that they did.
No, Aang was all like, "Why are you making me look like a bitch?"
Oh man, everybody hated their character. I think like Katara was definitely Princess Peach, the one that's kidnapped. Like, oh, Avatar.
I do not say that. And then I was like, nah.
And then they topped this big brute, and she loved it.
It was funny. She couldn't even see it. But yeah, I don't know. It was a certain thing about just watching Azula break down.
Because that was her first time, she couldn't handle the pressure. I was going to say that was her first time failing, but she didn't fail yet.
Well, it just felt like everything around her was falling apart. Like, her two friends, because, I mean, you had Mai stand up to her after the whole thing with the prison break, and Ty Lee at the same time. Like, at that one moment, your two friends, which even if even if they stayed with you out of fear, you did have childhood memories with them. So it was just a thing of insecurity all the time. You find out that, like her mom, she actually thought her mom believed she was a monster. And she couldn't really just help how she was.
Yeah. I feel like in that fight between her and Katara's probably scared shitless. Like, if that water wasn't there.
She did have to watch, like, 2 gigantic fireballs be blasted at people, like, constantly. And then, like, next thing you know, it gets turned to you. You're just like,
oh, shit.
Is there water here? You know what I'm saying? She had, all she had was, like, her pouch.
I mean, that pouch wasn't helping.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was thinking about that, just like, oh my God, I hope this, like, and then when she saw that, the water under the grates.
That was the ultimate get out jail free
card. I'm pretty sure she was, like, after that, she was just sitting there like, God, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been scared shitless, bro. Like,
do you think Zuko would have won if there was no,
he
shenanigans?
Was winning. But the thing, but that's also what I like about it, because they kept the psychological part so important because of the fact that Azula was, like, losing her mind. Zuko called it. He was just like, he's like, no, I'll take her by himself. We're supposed to be working together. Like, that bitch going crazy. I can take it. Nah, this bitch going a little crazy. I can take this. Yeah,
it's kind of bad. It took losing her mind for Zuko to stand a chance.
I mean, that's how talented she was, but it was always because she had such a calm mind, demeanor, and like the invasion for the eclipse, where they had it to where she could lie about whatever. She was just always so calm. I mean, she has 3 benders and a dude, like right in front of her.
3 benders and a dude.
Like right in front of her, and like
she didn't care at all.
And she had no bending, and she was getting away from them. So that was like, damn, Azula's so underrated.
I love her theme song. I never knew charms could be scary.
Azula's so underrated. Like, she was legit like ambushed. They couldn't capture her, and after a while, that was funny too. Like I said, they played that blind thing with Toph a lot because I was watching that part.
Oh, like, by the way, I'm rolling my eyes. God dang, now I'm thinking about
the
it.
one-liners,
jokes were just
the one-liners in this show were nice. But yeah. So when you saw all that breakdown and why it broke down, she had the thing where, not to mention, she was. I don't care what nobody says. She was still looking good, even crazy. So
did they explain why her fire was blue?
I think it was because of like a level of her mastery.
No. Okay, cause
they actually never explained it, but like her level of mastery, and she could do lightning and stuff. So, I wish they would have had more firebenders of that caliber.
But I can do lightning.
Because it was only Iroh, Azula, and Ozai.
Yeah. Zuko can redirect it, but he can't channel it.
Yeah,
all he do is redirect.
He can't do it himself. But
I think I like that because it's a rare technique.
I mean, it's cool, but I don't know.
Because think about this, every single bender has to have that one thing that like is rare. Like there's metal bending, there's
that was because Toph made that.
The old lady made blood bending.
Was that a water bending technique, or did you have to be a certain level of water bender for that?
You had to be a certain level of water bender for that.
Okay, never mind. No, the bloodline thing came in with Korra, where they could blood bend without the full moon.
Yeah, I think the only element that didn't have like a subcategory was air, but air is kind of broken by itself.
That's true. You can make typhoons. You can make.
You can take the air out of someone's lungs.
That's true. Yeah, Aang almost suffocated
somebody. That happened in Korra. Yeah, that shit happened in Korra. Old boy killed the Earth Queen by doing that, taking the air out of her lungs.
Oh,
was I'm surprised they showed that in the kids show, but
I mean, he almost suffocated Korra.
This is true.
So yeah, if it wasn't for all those airbenders coming through at the last second, but
Jesus, man, these powers were real. We'd be screwed.
I mean, those powers were real in that show, and a whole lot of people were screwed. I mean, they didn't hold back with what they talked about the destruction that the Fire Nation caused, and I mean, the Fire Nation legit was about to burn all the Earth Kingdom.
They was.
I mean, and I can't lie. Like, that's what made the animation so cool. Because when I was watching that, and Ozai, you had the fire thing, and you just saw it like start as that flicker,
and then it's just.
I was like,
now when he did it to Aang, like point blank, I was like, holy shit, Aang, please don't die.
I was actually kind of mad at that. I was like, how is this rock holding up? Like, that shit.
It broke eventually.
I was like, that nigga gotta be. And then they showed him sweating. I was like,
he's like, fuck. I mean, would you be scared in that moment?
Duh, I'm 12. It's like
I'm talking about like current you right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've only been bending all these elements in a couple months.
It's probably like maybe 2.
Nah. So
you can be like a pebble.
That was cool. I think that's the main thing that saved book 3 though.
Really?
Because it's like the highlights to me for book 3 are the prison break, Katara facing her mother's killer, and Zuko being accepted by the group. The dragon thing.
The dragon thing, Zuko being accepted, all the Zuko adventures, the prison break. I enjoyed all of them a lot.
Well, the only 3. No, it was only actually 3.
Yeah.
Didn't really care about the school thing. That was cool or whatever.
I thought it was a nice little break between all
the first couple episodes of book 3 where Aang was just being so unreasonable.
See, the propaganda episode, still think it's one of the best episodes, and then the finale.
Yeah, that was whatever for me. But I don't know. It just feels like that fight between Aang and Ozai just kind of. It feels like solidified in time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that I think is one of the greatest things Nickelodeon's ever done.
But they really did have to pull some plot armor bullshit to make sure Aang
Really though?
It just seemed like so random. Like, what would a sea lion turtle even care to show up in front of Aang at that point for? And then somehow this gigantic fucking monster is the one thing that's like, we knew how to do chi evaluation to block bending for years. And
But my thing is though, like the
only thing
spirit
that
world has
helped-
always been there. So spirit
I
bending.
mean, the only thing that made me cool with it was the fact that they said they were there before the Avatar existed. I was like, all right, you pretty much nature. I'm
Yeah,
with
but
it.
Mike, with the spirit world being a thing, I mean, spirit bending
But those
is
weren't
possible.
those weren't spirits. Sea lion turtles were just old.
Wait a minute, I said spirit bending. It's called energy bending. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, it just felt weird, like, you know, like the timing of it. I was like, they really did not want to let Aang just have to kill people.
I mean,
It's just
won, though.
that thing where it's just like plot convenience, not plot like plot armor, but plot convenience. It was just kind of like, you know, like you randomly in the Earth Kingdom and you're having this big emotional breakdown thing. It's like, I don't want to break my traditions. And it's like, I mean, I can't blame him. He's 12 years old, doesn't want to kill people, understandable. But then, you know, I do like how all the avatars were just kind of like
No,
look,
you need to kill him.
yeah, I was just like, look, nigga, you gotta you gotta bring balance. All right,
Right.
sometimes balance you gotta eliminate the other side.
But I don't see it as plot convenience because the outcome was going to happen regardless of that happened. If energy bending wasn't a thing, the same outcome would have happened. Ozai would have got locked up, and I don't think he's going to get out.
It's just like, just for me, it was just the one thing that never fully sat right. Like, I don't actually have a huge issue with it. It's just the thing that never really sat right with me the whole time. So I was just like, man, I mean, I guess if they didn't want to have him kill people, it's whatever. But
Did you want him to kill Ozai?
I mean, didn't you?
No,
Ozai was a cold bastard.
but remember, I enjoy villains more than you do.
Oh yeah.
So I enjoy a good
I
villain.
don't give a fuck about Ozai. But here's a question: what did you think about Roku's backstory?
It was
That
heartbreaking.
part hit.
It hit 'cause, like, that's your best friend leaving you for dead. That's someone you grew up with, pretty much.
And it was cool because you saw like Ozai really take the stand, and I guess that's why maybe because you saw Ozai be like on some real Avatar shit, where he told him, he was just like, look, get rid of this plan, because what was it? Everybody just wanted to increase the size of the Fire Nation,
Yeah.
and you know Roku was like, look, we have balance, chill out, calm down. Sozin, that was his name. Fire Lord Sozin,
Yeah.
you know, he wanted to increase. He was like, oh, like Roku, if you work with me, we can take this part of Earth's kingdom. Roku's like, Sozin, you talking about breaking the balance? Yeah, nigga, I'm the Avatar.
I mean, like, with Sozin, like, looking down at Roku, he's like, if I leave him, I can do my plans. So it's like,
It's just so cold, man. That was just like, and then he went through, and that's what led to genocide of the Airbenders. Which I ain't gonna lie, did you not have an issue with that?
what?
And like, it just felt like, should the Airbenders have really just been like mass murdered like that? Like, you would have thought they would have had they would have put up a fight.
Well, this is the issue. All of them are pacifists. They don't really do kill shot techniques. And then they thought like no one else could reach them because technically, I think Aang said it. No one can reach them except if you're on a flying bison. So they don't even have any defenses. They're peaceful people, so there's no really reason to, I guess, militarize themselves. So when the Fire Nation came up, yeah, they got powerful bending because airbending, I think, is the most powerful out of all the bendings. They still imposed. It probably was a surprise attack too. They wasn't prepared for it. They got the numbers probably. It was just GG.
Yeah, plus probably not enough and lost their virginity.
They might nah, 'cause I think I read it. They split. 2 air temples had men. The other 2 had females.
Gay. But I think I do like how they had the air temple thing where, you know, they sent others to other air temples to kind of learn different values.
Plus, I feel like they didn't do that. Then they would have to call the show Avatar. Which I'd kind of be cool with, but Avatar: The Last Airbender would be.
I was about to
just-
say, what?
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, they can't call it The Last Airbender if there's other airbenders.
Yeah, but yeah, so I don't know, that, like, the thing with Roku, it was just, it just hurt, man, because you see him as the guy who's having so much fun, because his whole journey was fun. It was a lot of fun, you know. He's rolling around with Sozin, that's his friend. Then they come up to him, it's like, Roku, you are the Avatar. And then he's just like, what? And then as you know, he goes through the training. Years go by. He comes back. He sees Sozin. Him and Sozin are best friends again. So they have those years of best friend. Roku gets him a lady. You know what I'm saying? They meet up again. He's like, Roku, Sozin, how's it going? Been smashing my wife. What about you? Been doing the same, homie.
I don't think that's the first thing they talked about. But...
And then, but then at the end of it, it's just like greed really got to him. Mm-hmm. And then that's pride. And that's how special that friendship was. He Sozin gave away the most memorable thing for a Fire Lord. And it's like, damn, and then your homie, and then they worked together for that fight, for that volcano.
That's the thing that got me. Like, they was a true team.
Cause it was just, and they both had dragons. I can't lie. That's also why I want to be a firebender, bro. You know me, bro. You know me, bro. Your boy loves some dragons, and them dragons in Avatar are so cool.
Yeah, I'm saying like the waterbenders, they have fish.
Who cares about kois?
Earthbenders have the little moles.
Big ass raccoon
and
squirrel.
What did the Airbenders have?
Bisons.
Oh yeah, the bisons.
That's fucked up, bro. You had that whole emotional moment with Appa being stolen, and I ain't gonna lie, those episodes with Appa where you saw what he had to go through.
That is true.
That shit hurt.
I can't picture Appa teaching someone airbending though.
Well, it's not that they teach them; you just watch and learn. Like Toph, she didn't get taught; she just paid attention, and then just mimicked it. So that was the cool thing about it. But yeah, just the fact that they were working together and you saw the friendship rekindle. Because I think after Roku completely bitched Sozin, they didn't talk for a decade or 2 decades.
I think it was 2 decades. I think it was much older.
That is true. They was 60s. So all this stuff, and then just at the end of it, it's like, because it felt like the friendship rekindling, and then it was like boom, gets hit with toxic fumes, and then Sozin's just like, I don't want to do this to you, buddy, but I am going to do this to you.
I got plans.
You know what I'm saying? You were cop blocking me. And, you were cop blocking me on making sure the nation is bigger. Suck for you. It's just so cold, man. Damn, that was messed up.
The Fire Nation is just cold in general. Cause I think,
which is ironic.
Ozai, he killed his father, I think, or set up his father to get killed to take over.
I mean, he was ready to kill his son.
Yeah.
I mean, even the fact that Zulan told him to kill his son. I understand. Actually, I think that was pretty nice.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. There was a confrontation. He had to kill Zuko. And he was just going to do it. Not a care in the world. That's why I think he didn't love Zuko. His mom loved him, but I don't think he personally
loved Zuko. Well, at that point, Zuko lost favor with him, so... At that point, he was probably like, well, and not to mention Zuko did just embarrass him in front of his father. So it's not like Zuko was in his highest place at that point.
This is true.
So yeah, it's that. I still would not have gone through and burning my son's face for that whole thing.
Hey man, think about this.
If that didn't happen, talking about you ain't want this man to die. Get the fuck out of here.
I like a good villain.
Damn, boy, that was so mean, bro. That
what
man
do you mean?
Evil.
But that's the point of a good villain. And I'm glad he didn't die because he got to pay for his sins.
What you mean he got to pay for his sins? He stayed in jail.
Life in prison, that's way worse than death.
Hey, look, Azula went crazy out there just talking to herself. He definitely was feeling alright the whole time in prison. So,
going back to the comics real quick, the one time he finally broke was when Zuko's mom actually confronted him in the prison. And she basically said, you're powerless. You can't do anything anymore. And it stormed out. And that was the first time he actually felt powerless.
What a peed on.
How was she peed on him?
She could have hosted a leg up.
Wow. I don't think it shoots like that, man.
Hey, if I was Zuko, I would have peed on. I would have found any type of way to disrespect this man. I would have been disrespecting the fuck out of him. I mean, bro, you burned my face. You tried to kill me. Then you just sit there and want me to come back. Kumbaya, we all cool. Nah, I would have definitely insulted him. I would have hit him with them swords too. When he said that, when Zuko confronted him during the eclipse, Ozai was like, well, come on. I'm powerless. You have your swords. I'm in the reach of your blades. I mean, I would have just been like, that's a good point, Pops.
I think he would have fucked Zuko up still, though.
Damn. Zuko should have put the muscle on.
I'm about to say, man, like
I mean, Ozai probably would have just called him, just like, gotcha, bitch. Yeah, you right. Damn, Zuko, Zuko's smarter than I give him credit for.
Oh man, but to end things off, I want to ask you about the new remake or spinoff that they're doing.
I have no idea about it.
From what I know, it's gonna be live action, and the original people who created Avatar are behind the project. So what's his name? Michael D'Armentino and Brian. I'm not even gonna pronounce his last name. It starts with a K. They're returning, so I actually have some hope that they can bring back that magic.
All right, I'll give a very simple answer.
Boo. Okay, but why are you saying boo though?
I'm sorry. Like, it's kind of like with this thing. Like, some things are just live action. Certain things should just stick to animation. Like with Avatar, the thing that kind of made it so special was the fact that it was animated in a way that was so different than what you saw with everything else. The way it was animated, like the closest thing for me, American animation based before Castlevania, would have been Young Justice.
I agree, but it's not the Justice League show. Justice League spinoff. Oh, no, spinoff. Unlimited. Sorry.
Maybe, but it definitely was not on the same level as I'm talking about. Like that got to like Avatar level. Because Young Justice has some very good choreography in it.
True.
So with like that type of thing, it's just like some things you just want
under that one
undefiled, yeah, and not defiled. And Avatar was already defiled by the movie.
Well, this is why I have a little bit of faith in it. Since like they're bringing back a lot of the old people from Avatar, that's a good sign. I think this could be a chance to finally remove the stain that is M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar. Because we all know that's a terrible movie. So I feel like this could finally right that wrong.
I think the thing of it was like, so much of it was like, I won't say whitewashed, but so much of it was trying to be too realistic and not sticking to some of the imagination of it. Like the fact that firebenders couldn't firebend without fire is kind of dumb.
I still remember
so it was
one
like
scene.
they remodeled everything just for no reason.
Bro, there was one scene where these earthbenders did a whole entire like choreography thing just to move one rock. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, that was so dumb.
So like I respect M. Night Shyamalan for his past movies that he did, but he ruined Avatar for me.
Yeah, but most definitely I would just say for it, I won't have expectations. I'll say that. So if you go in with no expectations, if it's decent, it'll be good. If you go in with expectations just because the original people are there, you'll be having like hopes. They don't meet the hopes, and then now it's ruined for you. So if you don't have expectations for it, it might help it be better. I just don't really see it going that well.
I mean, I just hope that like they do to Avatar what Dave Filoni did to Star Wars. I just hope that they can just live action animated. Who cares? I just want them to just.
But Star Wars was mainly off of actual like the only real effects was lightning. You know, lightsabers too, but you know, so for that it's just kind of like. And then if you go back to like 1970s, some of that acting was 1970s era, it was decent. But like if you look at it now, he's just kind of like falling like Power Rangers. So, you know, it's just that thing where it's not that much you have to add into it. But if you want somebody to move a whole ocean, that might look weird. Or they gotta, make an inferno from their fist, and they gotta do all these motions and stuff. Like, it might look weird. So,
I mean, like,
that's why.
I'm not gonna have my expectations super high, but I want to have faith that they can pull this off and like give me hope that like live action anime adaptations can happen.
Listen, if y'all can't do better than Korra, y'all are gonna get dragged.
But last thing though, do you consider Avatar an anime? Because that's some reason is a debate. Some people say it's not. Some people say it is.
Well,
I'm in the camp that say it is.
Anime is just animation. We use the term anime because it comes from a different country to kind of cut off what is a cartoon here and what's a cartoon from somewhere else. So, I mean, on the base level of it's animated, then yeah, it's anime. But if you talk about something, it's not it's not imported anime. There we go.
I'll say for me, anime is
It's
honestly,
domestic anime.
Because me, anime is just a Japanese art style. That's all it is to me. So it has that art style. So to me, it's just anime. Any show that has a more that Japanese art style to me is anime.
I mean, it's not that it's Japanese art style. I mean, Boondocks was inspired by certain art styles in anime, but you're not gonna call it an anime.
I consider it an anime.
It's animation.
I consider it an anime.
It's all of it is animation. Like Castlevania, it's just good animation. It's like, what is animated good? Some of them old Disney movies, they're animated good. You're not gonna call them animes, but
I don't know. To me,
nice
I
and
just think
animated.
there just is a difference. To me, it's just the type of art style
That's what I'm
you
saying.
use.
It's just the term. The term, like I said, pretty much is imported cartoons. You have a term for the imported cartoons from another place, so it's still a cartoon. If you go over there, you ask, "Hey, what do you think of? What do you think this as a term is?" It's like, "Oh, the anime is just cartoons, cartoons and comic books, like how they call it manga." That's just because how they call comic books. They don't have no word comic books. They just say manga. So it's like you have the term from there. So like Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg is German, pretty much German for ambush, for a raid, but it's still a raid at the end of the day.
I guess that's true.
It's just like, what term do you care to use? That's why I always thought that's why, like, if you want to just completely say anime as in Japanese cartoon, then no, it's not an anime. It's an American based cartoon. If you want to say anime as animation, where there's all cartoons, then yeah, it's an anime.
I guess for some reason I would just always separate them. Like I
I never cared. I didn't even realize that was a debate until like a couple years ago.
Oh really?
Yeah, then I was like, this is probably one of the dumbest ass things ever. Because I mean, if it's an American cartoon, then Danny Phantom's an anime. Not like his Teenage Robot is an anime.
But everybody has a different viewpoint. Like you
Just
and me
because
have
it's
two different
yeah,
viewpoints.
but I mean, just because it's animated better than most things you see doesn't change the fact that it's still an American-based cartoon.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always say that it's just an American anime. That's just how this means. It's the style.
Which is we call it cartoon. That's it.
Yeah, but I consider other things cartoons.
Well, I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not really.
I think we're in the same bubble.
It's
like
just, I'm just trying to put, like, why some people say it. It's just like the term we all know is to say, like, oh, anime. You're talking about the Japanese cartoons. But if you're talking about something already in America, you're just going to say, oh yeah, it's a cartoon. Like Castlevania, I wouldn't say, yeah, it's an American anime. I would just say, oh, Castlevania is a cartoon show. It's just animated really nicely.
I can't call Castlevania a cartoon. It's not a cartoon.
I mean, Substance is a cartoon. Family Guy's a cartoon.
I don't.
It's an animated. It's an animated TV show.
But that's because something's animated doesn't make it a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, that's all a cartoon really is, though. It's an animated show.
Yeah, but it's an animated
like
show.
Like I said, it's terminology. It's just, what do you feel comfortable? What term do you feel comfortable using?
Yeah, I agree.
Like in the realm of it, like how you can say all this is television. So it's just like, where do you break it down at? Where do you draw your lines on genres and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's gonna ask you like, oh, do you think Avatar is a comedy? It's like, not fully, but do you think it's a comedy? Like, it has comedy in it. So it's just, it's just the bullshit of where people always want to line things out.
Yeah, but I guess, like, whether you think it's a cartoon, whether you think it's an anime, whatever you think it is, we all can agree that Avatar is one of the best shows ever put on the screen. It's one of these shows that can probably stand the test of time. I can see, like, my future kids watching the show, grandkids watching the show, great grandkids watching the show. It could be something that will last.
Any thoughts on Avatar? Good show, good cast, good character development. Nice ladies. Zula, best girl.
Ty Lee.
Ty Lee is a good side bitch.
Azula's just that crazy bitch. I don't understand.
Azula, that girl that gets you on child support and then beats your ass.
At least with Ty Lee, it'd be fun.
Great fights, great choreography. Obviously, I mean, like I said, Ozai versus Aang. I mean, that tests the time.
Yeah.
So
also, I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of wish like we had a real life Avatar. We need someone to bring balance to the world.
Nah, but I mean, like I said, Avatar, decent show. If you haven't watched it yet, which if you made it to the end of this episode, you're weird. But be sure to go watch it. If it's some things you just don't remember, and we kind of re-spark that interest in watching it again, definitely go watch it again. It's still a fun watch, even as a grown ass man.
It is. Like, if you have never seen the show and you did make it to the end, our words won't give the show true justice. You need to experience it with your own eyes.
Mine gave good justice to soccer.
Our words don't give it justice. You need to actually experience it for yourself, because it is a spiritual journey, and you will enjoy every second of it.
Yeah, and also, like we always say, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to see anytime we post. We are going to be doing more individual content. I mean, Curtis has already started on a lot of it. I'm very much far behind.
The Carter 5, the Black Hero,
but
will be made.
you know, definitely be sure to check out some of our other content that
Also,
we'll be
comment
posting.
what element you guys would bend. I'm actually kind of curious to know what element y'all would bend and why.
But more importantly, comment if you would want us to talk about Korra. I haven't watched the last season.
Me neither.
But I do know pretty much how it ends.
Same.
So if you want us to do an episode on Korra, because I think Korra gets a little bit too much hate. Like, is it as good as Avatar? No. But was it complete, utter garbage trash? Yeah, I mean, aside from that last little lesbian
some people
thing,
consider like Avatar light or diet Avatar. It's just.
I mean, it kind of is, but I mean, it's not like it's like garbage Avatar.
This is true.
I mean, Korra has some good ass.
I mean, some
too.
people think it's garbage. I remember I saw a video where a guy explained why he thinks it's garbage for like a whole hour.
Yeah, but that's people who always have their biases on stuff. But most definitely, if you want us to talk about Korra, the episode on Korra, definitely do that. It'll definitely be shorter than this, but because Korra didn't last that long either. But yeah, leave that in the comments if you want an episode on Korra or not. Just if you want to hear us bash it. I mean, I don't really bash it. I'll try my best.
I'll get season 1 as props.
Yeah, or if you just want us to talk about it, just to see if we can find something good to say about it. But aside from that, be sure to also check us out on like Spotify, streaming networks, Anchor, whatever places go out from there. Don't really know all of them. We'll have them linked in the description though. And just want to say, I can't say, like usual, we ain't talking about anime.
Oh no, I consider Avatar anime, so I can say it. Remember, everyone, surpass your limits, and plus ultra.
Also, since we're dealing with a whole lot of protest and a whole lot of COVID still, be sure to wash and cover your ass.
And please be safe.
And if you get shot by the police, then put that shit down.
Peace.